Hey guys, welcome to another video for the Poco X3 Pro. Now, this is a particular ROM for which a lot of you have been telling me that try this ROM, check gaming on this, review this ROM, how to install this. Yes, we are talking about oxygenos for the Poco X3 Pro. This time it is a brand new port. This is based on the Oneplus 8T Open Beta 6, and yes, it is based on Android 11. I have been using it since yesterday and it has been amazing, and it will be a lot of fun doing this review for you guys. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. In the description of each video, you will find a link to our Telegram community where you have more than 1,000 like-minded people helping each other and having all the fun with such discussions. So join us there. Last but not the least, if you think the hard work is worth the effort, please click on the join button and support the channel. Now without further ado, hello awesome people. Welcome to PhoneOps. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright, so what do we have here? Brand OnePlus, model OnePlus 8T, Android version 11, build ID Open Beta 6, build date 5th of July. Today we are on the 10th of July as we are shooting this, so pretty much very recent update. Security patch is also the latest. There is June 1 2021. Now the changelog says enabled cyberpunk theme. That is what we have over here. As you can see, added Xiaomi parts as and per app thermal profile option, so that's pretty insane. Some custom ROM features in oxygenos. 120Hz and 60Hz refresh rate toggle works now. Use custom kernel if you want 90Hz max, but no support from my side. So you can flash a custom kernel on this ROM, but you will not be able to go beyond 90 Hz or 90 FPS, whatever you want to call it. Fixed the issue with widewine L1, so that's great. If you already have widewine L1 working and if you flash this ROM, you should not have any issues. Fixed issue that max brightness wasn't reaching actual max brightness of the device. I don't remember much. List is long. So these are the notes that you need to know before you flash, and this is a review, so I won't be showing how to flash. Follow the instructions. But ambient display dead if added fingerprint, set wallpaper from gallery app to fix this. So make sure you go to gallery and set a wallpaper for the home screen and lock screen, and it has to be the exact same wallpaper to avoid any issues with the fingerprint scanner. Build comes with new flasher. Make sure you are decrypted before flashing the port, else new flasher might give error, and if you get stuck on Poco logo, then try flashing the build again. I actually did have this problem, so I re-flashed it without wiping everything and everything went fine and it booted just fine. Or flash unmount zip given in the group. Bugs, NFC is a bug. Now there are a couple of other bugs that I have noticed. The brightness automatically goes to the highest sometimes, so that is sort of an annoying issue, but not such a big deal for me. And the charging indicator will not show you that it is charging even though it is charging the battery. So these are the two bugs, and you will have some issues with Accu battery as well. So we started the video with negatives. Now let's go ahead and talk about the positives of this particular ROM. So first things first, let's go to the main screen, and that is where we would want to start it. And mind you, this is a complete review because I've been using it since yesterday. This phone is acting as a hotspot for 3 to 4 devices because, as I said, I'm traveling and I have to use LTE data to get videos out to you guys. So pretty much the battery test has been done. The only thing, as I posted a while ago, we will not be doing in reviews for the next 1 week is benchmarks, because we don't have AC over here and the ambient temperatures are very close to 40 degrees. So please excuse the benchmarks not being there for a week. That out of the way, if you go to settings and if you go to about phone, you will see that it has all the specifications over here. The device name is something you can change. I've named it OnePlus X3 Pro, Android version 11, build number is this, and then you have status in which you will get the kernel information and security update. This does come with the OOF kernel, so it has been running pretty smooth, pretty sorted as well. Now what happens when you flash a ROM? You look at the home screen first, and over here to the left you do have Google feed. Now the reason I like this ROM so much is when you leave it at 120 Hz, it is using dynamic refresh rate, but look at the fluidity, guys. Look at the smoothness, how smooth this is. And it's not that I've been, I've done something special or I've done something different to get this kind of fluidity. You will get this fluidity out of the box, and that is pretty insane. To me, very honestly, this feels like a very, very close, perfect custom ROM for this device. There are a couple of caveats which I'll mention at the end of the video, but for now, let's quickly get into the nitty-gritties. So if you press and hold over here, you can go to home settings. You will see in the about section, you do have this particular launcher version 5.0.2.3. You do have the option of swipe down to access notifications, or you can keep something else as well. You have double tap to lock, you have quick search gestures, you have icon pack changes, and you do have the hidden space where you can go ahead and hide your applications as well. So a pretty nifty launcher there. It works as expected. Now moving on, if you go to the recents panel, you will notice that you do get these small icon size looks for these particular apps that are launched, and if you press and hold them, you get split screen, app info, and lock in memory, and you also have a clear all button. So the recents are pretty smooth, pretty solid as well, and trust me, I've not had any stutters or any issues as well, right? And moving on, if you swipe from the top to bottom, if you look at the color, this is a cyberpunk theme. You do have the screen recorder, FPS info overlay. We will talk about the FPS info overlay in a while, but if you go to the screen recorder over here, right now, if you see the resolution and all the other options, everything is fine. But when it comes to audio source, you don't have an option to select internal and external audio, although Google have enabled that feature in Android 11, but OnePlus is to blame over here. I'm pretty sure later they will go ahead and fix it. So the notification tiles are there, and if you go to edit over here, you can add a few more as well. There you go, 2 to 3 different rows, and even when you're recording the screen, you don't really have any problem. Right now, let's quickly dive into settings over here. We will talk about the camera situation in a while. So it does say hotspot is active, turn off hotspot. I just have 11% battery. I did think that I'll charge it before making this particular review, but I wanted to show you the first hands-on experience of using this device in a warm area where it is being put through its paces, right? So if you go to Wi-Fi network, you do have all the advanced features of Wi-Fi which come in oxygenos, and remember, this is a oxygenos beta, so all the advanced features that you are going to experience on a OnePlus 8T, which by the way is the last year's flagship, you will get it in this particular OS as well. And as always, I would not want to take you through each and every settings option and bore you. I can definitely benefit from getting more watch time, but these are pretty self-explanatory features, and I don't think it is worth going to each and every option. Nonetheless, you have Bluetooth and device connection over here, and if you go to display under advanced, you do have a refresh rate toggle, 60 Hz and 120 Hz, right? Front camera display area, you can go ahead and disable that. And apart from this, you have dark mode, status bar, you can choose to display the battery percentage and stuff like that. So all pretty basic things, and excuse me if the screen on the phone is a little dirty, please excuse me there. But nonetheless, if you go to customization, this is my area of interest. They have added the option of themes, so you can choose cyberpunk or you can choose default. Then you do have clock or ambient display. You can choose to have a always on display, but I would not recommend that because this is a LCD panel and you will end up losing a lot of battery. So you can enable lift up display, in which you will be able to see a sort of a always on display when the device is lifted and it lights up the screen. So that should take care of your customization needs, and you have a ton of other options as well. Now under sound and vibration, you do have direct sound enhancer, right? You can enable hi-fi and all that stuff as well. You do have Dolby, which works like a boss, so that is pretty neat as well. Moving on, you do have apps and notifications, in which you have quite a lot of customization. You can choose what needs to be done or what can be done and stuff like that. So very good focus by OnePlus on privacy over there. If you go to advanced, you do have a ton of options over here, including the advertising ID as well, location, battery. Now this is where the interesting part is. So if you see over here, you have battery saver and you have thermal profiles. As you can see, you can enable per app thermal profiles. If you look over here, I've enabled it for BGMI or Battleground Mobile India, and then you have the gaming mode in which you can increase the touch sensitivity, touch response and touch resistance area and stuff like that. So that is a pretty neat addition. And if you're having issues wherein some apps are not throwing notifications and stuff, you can go ahead and change the battery optimization for that particular application. Now, as far as gestures are concerned, the 3-finger screenshot is working as expected. You do have an option to get the expanded screenshot as well, and you can go ahead and pause it as well, and you can also enable double tap to wake and stuff. And I keep pausing the review in between to tell you guys how smooth this particular ROM is and how fluid it really feels at 120 Hz. It's a pity that I could not benchmark this beast, but I will do that once I get back to my hometown. Now, moving on, and disclaimer over here, from now if you see some jitters here and there, it might be because of the low battery. I've been using it and the OS is absolutely fluid. Now, an important part over here is Xiaomi parts. You do have an option of enabling the FPS info overlay, as you can see over here, and you do have Kcal display calibration as well. You can customize the saturation, the hue, the brightness of the display completely as per your choice. So this is something additional that they have added, and it's good to see that I'm getting a notification of my own video premiering in my, while shooting my own video. So that's pretty neat. So the gallery application is the latest, the weather application is the latest, and we are using Gcam over here, a proper Gcam. The link for the same is available in their group, and you can go ahead and enable OnePlus applications like the OnePlus phone or OnePlus contacts and OnePlus messages. Everything is available in their group as a whole, and wideband L1, as I mentioned, it works absolutely fine. So you have a good camera, you have good charging, you have amazing battery life. So before we sum up this video, let me actually show you the battery life that I experienced over here. So if you go to battery over here, you will see that the battery temperature even right now is 41 degrees. So we have had 5 hours and 36 minutes of screen usage time in 19 hours, and mind you, the hotspot has been on all this while, and we are in a remote location where the phone is most of the time struggling to get signal coverage, right? And I did mention the bugs that are present in this particular build. I did play a couple of BGMI matches. You can definitely go ahead and give it a try. Once you open settings and graphic options, you will get an surprise, and if you're smart enough, you will understand what sort of FPS option you will get there, because this is based on OnePlus 8T, right? So the gaming is great. You can use Gcam for great pictures, video, all the lenses are working. There are a couple of small bugs which might not and should not be a deal breaker for you. This completes this device, and if we can get a slightly better camera and the remaining 2 bugs fixed, trust me, this oxygenos port is super amazing and definitely a daily driver. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at PhoneOps. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.